Hey everyone, welcome to Warp News, the best show on the internet. I am your host, Seth the Mad Dok, and I am again joined today by three illustrious guests here to answer the hardest hitting questions in the 40K community. And I, being the most important man here in the 40K community, will judge the validity of their answers. But before we get into it, I want to thank Joe over at Wargames Lab and remind everyone to pick up their 2024 tour merch. You can go, I'm assuming someone in the mods in the chat will tell you to hit ! t-shirt, but I got a lovely Wargames Live t-shirt. But let's bring our guests in. Say hello, guests.
Hello, guests.
Perfect.
Hello, guests.
That's just like on command.
That t-shirt seems unreasonably expensive. How much does one of those cost?
I couldn't remember actually, but I got one for my wife and me. You can customize the color. I like that this year.
Ooh.
Wow. That sounds like a fantastic value, whatever the price may be.
It is indeed a fantastic value of some price that I don't know the amount of. But above me, returning winner JT McDowell of Play on Tabletop. To our upper left, we have Adam of FLG and TFG Radio. And then, of course, John Quinnell of Mob Rules / Grim After Dark / whatever show will have him.
Two-time loser.
Two-time loser. I think, Adam, you're a two-time winner, right?
I've only won once.
Only won once, and JT's won once. So,
yeah.
For folks that are new to the show, I'm going to ask these boys a question. I'm going to give them all a chance to respond. And if I like their answers, you'll hear a nice little positive, and their score will go up, as we see here with right over there with Adam. And if I don't like their answers, which is probably going to happen a lot, you get a little and you lose your points. And I'm going to say it once again. Whatever person was commenting on YouTube like 2 weeks ago that they didn't like the sound effects and they wish the conversation would flow naturally, watch a different show. This is not for you. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. Wow. Whatever. Everyone else seems to have fun with it. Vic VJ was having a ball in chat last week. So let's get right into it, guys. Are you ready to rock?
No.
Hey. I didn't get this #1 mom trophy for nothing.
That's right. All right. Adam, you're going to start us off.
Oh, my God.
As you're aware, John Cena has stunned the wrestling world this week after turning heel after a 22-year career as run as the good guy in WWE.
Right.
Similarly to this, the Tau have been the good guys of 40K since their codex was released almost 24 years ago. In the lore, what would the Tau have to do to follow in John Cena's footsteps? Adam, take it away.
Exist. That's basically my answer. I don't know who thinks Tau are good guys except for other Tau players, but I think that's almost true of any faction at this point. So my answer is just simply existing is enough.
That will turn heel. John, being a well-versed wrestling fan, how can the Tau Empire turn heel?
So what's going to happen is the Imperial Guard is inexplicably going to show up, and they're going to be like the champion of the people, and then Chaos is going to come along. No one wants Chaos there for some reason. Are they
riding on bits of rocks while they get there?
But it shows up anyway and tries to insert itself there, and it's like, Imperial Guardsmen, I want your guys' soul, and no one is going to know what the hell he's talking about, and it's going to be a really weird conversation. But give it like 2-3 weeks after a really, really good battle, they're going to come out and kind of kill the crowd a little bit, and the Chaos is going to be like, hey man, can I have your soul? And the Guardsman's going to be like, F you, and we're like, whoa, they used a swear word. And then in the background, the Tower like hyping up the Guardsman, like, whoa, yeah, there's a hype man. And then the Tower just goes up and kicks the Guardsman in the balls. And that's when you find out that the Guard have aligned with like the Chaos guy, pulls off his mask. It's just Shadow Sun.
All right, JT.
That was literally Sting's heel turn. That was huge, bro. That was fantastic.
When he pulled off the mask, do another mask.
Do another mask.
But it's an evil mask.
For Tau to make the big heel turn, I think it has to end up with a run-in. There's going to be a big battle. It's probably going to be an Imperial faction, probably Sisters versus Tau. They're going to be going toe-to-toe. There's going to be some happening on the fringe. The Orcs are going to make their way into the battle because they want to get to Krumpen. And then the Tau out of nowhere are going to, Orcs come fight us, and then ambush them, and they're going to kill Thraka. They're going to kill Thraka, and that is going to make everybody hate them. And even the Sisters are going to be like, whoa, dude, like, come on now. And then to put it over, what they kill Thraka with It's a clone of Yarick.
What? No. Clone
No,
of Yarick. Are we in like days of our 40K lives here? What's going on?
Yes.
To be fair, that makes about as much narrative sense as the John Cena heel turn storyline.
I am true. I'm speaking truth to power, man. It makes perfect sense. It's in the same vein. I got you.
All right, John, you're gonna lead off with our next one. So get yourself ready.
Oh no.
GW continues to expand its licensing of its IP into other realms and horizons, including things like Joy Toy, Weta Workshop, Merchoid, and Displate. There's one horizon, though, that they have yet to conquer, and that's the world of Bandai and Gunpla.
Okay.
What will it take for GW to license a crossover with Bandai, and what will be the first perfect grade kit that we get of 40K?
Just like, I mean, jokes aside, just a shitload of money. I would just imagine they were like, hey, like Bandai's like, do you like money? And GW's like, yeah, I like money. Do you like money? And they're like, yeah. And then all you get is a giant Stompa kit that is about 20 inches in height and 18,000 pieces. And requires a special kind of tweezer to finish.
God, that sounds like pain. JT, how does 40K get into Gunpla, and what's the perfect grade kit?
The perfect grade kit for 40K Gunpla. I mean, I originally thought the Stompa would make a good one too, but it would have to be about a 36 to 42 inch Stompa if you want to keep the Gunpla framing right, because that makes more sense. But I think, honestly, I think in my mind, if I think crossover between Gunpla and 40K, it's going to be Farsight. It's going to be a 2-foot Farsight. Because of course, they took no inspiration from Gundam for Tau.
It's all original.
No way that has anything to battle suits and, some weird quasi-religious warrior casts. No, not at all. There's nothing. No, not at all.
24
but I
inch
think
foot.
the sad part is I would totally buy it.
I'd be there. I'd be there.
An RP, man.
All right, Adam, do you even know what Gunpla is?
I do, because I watch anime. And again, I'd have to go with the money aspect. That's really the only thing GW responds to at this point. In terms of the kit, oh man, there's two I can think of for two different reasons. One would be the Warlord Titan, because then we can finally have a plastic Warlord Titan and you don't have to paint it. The other one would be like a Redemptor Dread, only because you can finally have the little pilot that's a little embryo.
Isn't it a sarcophagi? It's not run by a baby.
I don't know. I'm thinking of Rogue Trader.
It's not run by a baby. It's like a dead Marine. And they pull him out when he gets drained and they stick a new one in. Like, there we go.
Yeah. When he gets drained like a battery.
Yeah, basically. That I'm fairly certain that is lore accurate. And this show is the most lore accurate show on the internet, right? Right.
Of course. Yes. We just going by that last question.
Perfect.
The first question.
About Gunpla.
No, the first question was about John Cena. Stay with us, John.
Your turn.
All right. JT, you're up next. GW has announced that they will now be holding their first GW Open in Edmonton, Canada, marking this officially the GW events team's first trip into Canada. In order to better fit the GW Open atmosphere and events to the local culture, what should the event teams add to the GW Open to make it feel more Canadian?
That's a really great question, considering Play on Tabletop is holding its third narrative at GameCon Canada on June 13th to 15th, Edmonton. You know what? To make it more Canadian, automatic takebacks, if you forget a stratagem or a rule, that would make it much more Canadian. Shots of maple syrup at every table. And then automatic apologies if you table your opponent.
So sorry. Adam, how do we make a GW Open more Canadian?
He took all the good answers.
I think I feel.
I want all judges to wear a Mountie costume.
I'm down with it. Justin Curtis in a Mountie outfit.
Yeah,
Right.
that makes it very Canadian.
That sounds right. John, you've been Canadian adjacent for many years.
I have. I've lived almost my entire time in the States adjacent to Canada. So in order to make a GW event more Canadian, and you could even say more fair, you could issue red cards to judges. That might help for some things. You want to get rid of that pesky painting requirement. For some, oh man, Seth, you've handicapped me so hard for this. You want to get rid of that painting requirement because it's just a fun time with chums playing these games.
It's
And
too
then-
bad card
Prime,
people for
that's what it
not
is,
painting
John.
bases.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
And no
rotate
table.
around who gets to go first. It just so happens.
Your tables, not boring American tables, but moose, laying on the ground, covered in maple syrup, so that
Live?
the
Live.
beautiful live. So the
All right.
beautifully
No.
fresh shore
I'm on board.
Canadian
I'm
plywood
on board.
could be
not
laid
playing
down
in
on
it.
top of them. And you have to play really quickly. So when you wah, because you're an orc player, you're going to wah really quietly because otherwise the table's going to stampede through the rest of the hall.
Sold.
Have
I'm
you
sold.
guys
And
ever
this-
seen
I'm
it?
in.
Yeah, I'm like, and then everyone dies.
I'm in.
Everyone dies.
Everyone died. Yes.
All right. Well, Adam, circling
back
back
to
to
me.
you, you're up next.
Okay.
GW just, I think actually the day this airs is the last day for submissions for the Black Library annual open submission period. This is where aspiring authors are kind of allowed to send in their first short story to try to join the hallowed ranks of the Black Library authors. We're all aspiring storytellers here. So as a storyteller, Adam, give us your 30-second pitch of your own story set in the 41st millennium.
I am never said I was a storyteller. So it's about a scribe that is very bad at telling stories set in his workplace and his struggles to come up with a story in order to win a contest.
You're writing what you know. You're writing what you know.
Yes, you're right. What I know.
John, you're up.
Okay, so cut to modern day. Everything is strange. And then this guy, we'll call him Neo, he gets a note. And it's like, hey, reality isn't real. And he runs away because these agents are coming to get him. And then he gets picked up by this guy. We're going to just call him Morpheus. And he gives him a choice like, hey, the world around you isn't real. You have to make a choice. You're going to take the red pill or the blue pill. So he takes one of the pills. Doesn't matter which one. Narrative. And he wakes up in a pod. And he's just in the 40K universe. He's like, oh, God, everything's terrible. Then he gets taken to Zion. And then he learns that he's the one.
All right, enough of that one. Enough of that one. JT, give us your 30-second pitch for your story in the 41st millennium. And please don't start with it's modern day.
It's 1999. the peak of human existence.
Oh my gosh, it's killing me. I'm just so
Trench coats are everywhere.
I have two ways to go. I have humor, or I have the heart, the soul, the story they want to tell. My story would be about an archon who wants to achieve a glorious trophy of his own victories, and that trophy is something so insanely mundane that it becomes nothing but a 445-page pun. That's my story.
Sophie's choice, right?
Exactly.
Oh, God. Fortunately, I think GW might be getting some better submissions than what you guys put forward.
You sure?
I sure hope so.
I've read GW over the years. I'm not sure you're going to get much better than that.
No. This is at least Gav Thorpe writing a non-Eldar novel. I'll give him Eldari.
Names.
All right. John, you're up. Based on the fact that every content creator with an NDA is putting out videos saying what they hope to see in the next balance update, it's pretty likely to assume that a balance update is on the horizon. So if we're going to stay topical here on Warp News, I want us to be talking about our dreams and our hopes for a future balance update. But specifically, I want to know, what is the one thing that GW is going to nerf in an attempt to balance the game that you think is going to be absolutely the wrong decision?
4-up and vulnerable saves. They're going to be like, those are all too powerful. There will be no point changes, but now the best and vulnerable save you're going to get is a 5-up. And the sheer pain of Custody players is going to fuel me until the next balance update when they put it back again while increasing the point cost.
JT, what's the one nerf that is going to be wrong in your opinion?
They are going to take away the +1 to wound across the board for every army and turn it into a -1 damage. That's it makes no sense.
Yep. No more +1 wounds.
Yeah.
All right, Adam.
One rule that they'll take away that's wrong. I don't know. I think the game's perfect the way it is. They can't do no wrong.
All right.
Honestly, I just can't think of anything.
It's touchy, not
game.
easy.
Are you saying when I put you on the spot with ridiculous questions, sometimes it's hard to ad lib an answer when you're the third guy to go?
Yeah, because all the answers are taken.
Yeah. All right. Well, JT, you get the honor of going first. With the Emperor's Children box set or codex, and now basically the entire data slate getting leaked a week in advance of the release, in theory, it seems the GW has still not been able to solve their leaks problem within their department. So, being that you are a wise, sage man of the internet, and you are able to sleuth down where this leak is, where should GW start looking for in their line of employees for the leaks? And what would be an appropriate punishment for a leaker that is putting out all of this information early and ruining all of our content creators' fun?
This is actually a really tough question because it's hard to find where those leaks are when you deny that they exist. Because I believe it's Skaven, and every good dwarf knows Skaven aren't real, but I believe it's Skaven. So you have to find the Skaven, you have to lay out the rat traps, and you have to find the rats and kill them. It's the Skaven, run, flee. That's what's doing.
There are no leaks in Bossing Say.
There are no leaks in the Underdark. No,
Adam.
wrong.
Where it's coming from?
Yeah, and what should be the appropriate punishment when they're caught?
Oh, it's all coming from the shops. You can't trust those dirty game store owners.
Darn independent
I've known
stores.
I've known too many to know that for sure. Can't trust any of them.
And what should be the appropriate punishment?
You just take away their GW.
That's
Their
boring.
GW sales. Oh,
That's
you want something
boring.
like
How's
fantastical?
that going to make an example of them for the rest? John, bring us some of that
Public
patented
institution.
mob rule spice.
So, the area where all the leaks coming from, very simple. Florida. Somewhere in Florida. No one quite knows sure. It seems to be located out of one house, but that might be a trap. And the appropriate punishment, I
Sorry,
feel.
I need to stop you, John. Do you have
Yes.
MDF knuckles right now?
Don't worry about it.
Is
I
this
have
the
to protect
punishment?
myself when we're
That's part
talking
of the
about-
punishment.
Part of the punishment. The other part is they have to coach me to win a GT, which is a life-ending task because it will never happen.
Everyone, I want you to know that you were all wrong about the source of the leaks. It is clearly the janitor at GW. It's clearly him. He's sweeping the floors at night, and then he's taking pictures of
Chris?
Coda.
Nah, Chris is good people.
I don't know, man. I wouldn't trust him. And the punishment is we take his favorite mop away. All right.
Favorite mop.
Not Stanley Spakowski.
All right. Now,
To go against Chris.
all right, Adam. This is the last question for the night, and this one is right up your alley because I do know that you do love telling a good story, whether you say you're a storyteller or not. Recently, I was in one of my local Discords talking about some, we'll call them infamous players in the community and their actions over the years, and I was saddened to learn that many of my teammates had no idea who these players were from a few years ago,
Oh my God.
and had basically, just
I hate
kind of
you.
forgotten all the lore of the community, basically anytime after 9th edition. So it's our job to be the remembrancers of the 40K community. And I want you to tell the Wargames Live audience one story about the before times of 40K, before the rise in the popularity, before Wargames Live itself, before all the plethora of content creators. What's one story about the community that you want everyone still to know to this day?
Can I name names?
Let's try not to get Joe mad at me again this week.
Okay. It's hard to do that without naming names. So there was one. This is 7th edition, so we'll go 7th edition. And if you
A
played,
great era.
oh jeez, it makes one appreciate 8th edition onwards. There was, if people remember, if you play Horus Heresy, it's basically 7.5 edition. So there's lots of templates, and two top players are playing each other. It's one of those LVOs where BCP decided to pair all the top players against each other in round 1. So two players were arguing over where to put the small blast template over the models, to the point where John had to walk over and place it for him. And one of the players, who was at the time a very notorious player for cheating, essentially. If anyone knows about biting plasma pistols off of models. I'm trying to get as many references in as I can. He kept on arguing with John, and where John just had to basically yell at both of them at that point of like, no, this is the number I'm saying, and this is what it's going to be. And there was a lot of that. The player later on, I believe it was that same tournament, where he ended up getting an eventual red card, and I think it was tossed from the tournament, or at least the game, because he had put his team name as one of the more popular, or the better teams, so that he wouldn't have to play them in the first round.
Yeah.
And then he also started moving his opponent's models without his permission during a game. So that's all the same player in one tournament.
The dark times were a hell of a time. John,
No notes.
bring us a story from the before times.
No notes.
From the before times. I think, of course, my one's is a lot more regional, but all of my experiences on the before times was the awfulness that was pre-ITC tournaments. There wasn't always a frontline gaming. There wasn't always a mission pack. And what you would get is you would go down, and there was a store. It no longer exists in Palmer, Alaska, called The Metagame, where there was people who would hang out with their army cases to look to see what other people had brought. And then they had 3 different lists that they would then decide what to bring in based on what everyone else had. And the missions just didn't help that. And it wasn't a fun time. That was the same place, 500-point league game. Like, yeah, let's go. It's new. Let's encourage new players to come in. Yeah, probably don't take 500 points in mortars. That just seems like a big thing to do. So while we chastise, like, oh, like they don't have any Leviathan pack, or they don't have any Pariah Nexus packs, it was way worse, dude. And then it got to pretty boring with kill 1, kill more, hold 1, hold more. But now it's really good. Yeah. Appreciate what you got. Otherwise, I'm going to play you in 6th edition. It's going to be awful.
6th.
All right, JT. What's one story you want the community to remember from the before times?
So it's interesting. We go back to pre-ITC. We go to big event. I'm going to harken back to the days of early social media and sharing of documentation. And the first time that we actually got a full FAQ posted on multiple channels, all of the questions that people had asked, all of the silly things that people had tried, and they errated it all. And it was so important to understand that no, buildings cannot scout. That had to be one of my favorites, but that is not the best. The question that reached the frequently asked question stage: can pink horrors summon?
God damn it.
Stop. That alone, to this day, Adam knows. Can pink horrors summon? My gods, man.
Stop.
Oh, man, yeah, that's summoning.
I'll knock you off. That's it.
I think I remember, I think when summoning first came out, I can remember FLG doing a battle report in their shop and putting it up online, being like, how ridiculous is this? It ended up being like an 8,000 point army versus a 2,000 point army. At the end of the day.
I can tell you what it was. We on TFG Radio, we basically did a tutorial about the pink horror, demon summoning. And that was our most viewed
and the
video
fact
at like
it was like
5,000
anything
views.
Could summon demons, like any faction psyker could do it. Yeah.
John's army was 3 knights and Liberius Conclave, the original Liberius Conclave, and then just summoning demons. That was it. That was the army.
Oh God! So just remember how good you got it right now, 40K community, because good Lord, there were some dark times. But speaking of not so dark times, our winner today again is JT McDowell. JT, congratulations. You pushed yourself over the top by bringing back that mental trauma of pink horror summoning. So as is your right, nay your privilege, you now get to monologue to the community about whatever you want. So take it away, JT.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, fans of all ages, thanks for tuning in once again to the greatest show on the internet. John and Adam, fantastic opponents. I crushed you like bugs, as is intended.
That's what PTSD does to you.
That's a PTSD. I pulled out all the stops. I did not play fair, as a Drukhari player should. But I definitely want to say that these are some great times, folks. The announcement today that LVO is moving is pretty cool. The Emperor's Children stuff looks fantastic. If you see it in person, it's amazing. Leakers suck. You guys can all go away. This is killing us. It's driving us nuts.
Yeah.
You already won, man. Quit going for points.
But basically, and fundamentally, enjoy the game. Play hard. Have fun. He's taking points away from John. I love it. Keep that buzzer going. I love the buzzer. The buzzer fuels me. In a nutshell, this is me. Actually, this is me in a nutshell. Enjoy the game. Have fun. Get out, play. Roll dice. Drink a couple of beverages if you're of age to do so, and just enjoy it. And don't take it too seriously. Life's too friggin' short, man.
It is, man. It is, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on, guys. I really enjoyed having you. It's always good to have you guys on, even if Adam doesn't quite get the WWE humor that I try to weave into the episodes with JT and John here. But
listen, last time I watched WWE, I was 15, and that was literally 40 years ago.
Seth, can we ask Adam a question real quick about
Sure.
LV October?
You mean
what mission pack are you using?
Orkvio.
Oh my gosh, what's the question?
What mission pack is it going to be? Are you guys going like book missions?
We may just play only war from core rule.
Oh, just random. Just
10
every
rounds of
table's
only
random.
war.
You just get 100,000 fucking.
Player
deck
plays terrains
cards.
going back, right?
Yeah, player plays terrain is back for 2.0.
Oh God, no!
LVO
No,
2.0.
we passed the dark times. Let's stay in the good times. Folks, thanks so much for joining me. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. Again, don't forget to support Joe over at his Patreon or join the YouTube channel as a member to help support him, pick up some merch. If you want to help me out, head on over to my channel, Seth the Mad Dok, and give the show a like and a view to help me out. Until next time, this is Seth the Mad Dok saying dice down and have a good one.